to make sure I fill out. I'm just reading over the instructions. They will give you instructions. If you're uncertain about something, always ask, okay? What time is 9:45? Okay. Time be flying, boy, I tell you. Mm-mm. And with this appointment, I have to get copies of their identification. So this company wants you to use the poly bags. So that's what I'm going to use. It gives you the information on who to contact if you have any questions that come up during closing. Just going over my loan documents. I have a closing today, so I said, why not talk it through with everyone, let you see exactly how the process works. When you get your loan documents, you print them off, you can start reviewing them. And that's what I'm doing right now. So like I was saying earlier, and you may hear me repeat this several times because I don't know who's coming in after the fact, they will give you instructions. This particular company gave me all these instructions. See how thick that is? That's a lot of instructions they want me to make sure I follow through. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just going through. These were the ones that came in the client's package. So I just pulled all the instructions because you get two copies. I just pulled them out to be to put on the side, okay? Because they don't need to see all that. That's nothing pertaining to them, okay? So like I said, I'm just reading through everything, going ahead and fill out what I need to fill out, and then I'll put everything back in order. So it said on this particular document, they want you to use blue ink. If anyone has questions on what color ink, how will I know what color ink, they will give you instructions. Just take your time. That's why if you do take last minute signings, and they're coming out a lot now, but if you do decide to take last minute closings, make sure you take out time, a lot of time to read through the instructions, okay? So it says obtain verification of valid ID. Now some companies, they don't want you to take pictures on our phones of their ID, but this company wants it. It requires it. So they want you to take a picture of their ID, okay, of all parties that's signing. So if their name is in this document, they want you to take a picture of their identification, okay? Some signing companies, they have a portal where they want you to upload the picture onto the portal, and then they still want you to print it off. So it's very important. There's no way of getting around trying to have not having a printer, okay? Then they give you instructions on what to do after the signing. They want you to return it into this poly bag right here. Now you can go on the UPS website and get free shipping supplies. You don't have to pay for shipping supplies, right? You can go on FedEx and create your free business account and get supplies sent to your home. Or if you had a FedEx that's nice, they'll let you grab like 2 or 3 extra. Don't be greedy. Yeah, I know it's a business, but just try to grab like 3 or 4. Be nice. Go to the same ones, and they'll be nice back to you. They'll give you a handful if you're nice and polite to them, professional. But if you go in there and just want to grab up, they gonna shut you down real quick, like. So like I said, but if you go onto the UPS website, they'll ship you your shipping labels and your envelopes to your home or to your business address, wherever you conduct business at. So like I shared with y'all earlier on my video, if y'all look, I shared with you all witness requirements. That comes up a lot of times for us notaries. They're trying to say if we can and cannot be the witness. If you're not sure, go back to my video and I showed you a screenshot of this company. They sent in this package of who could and could not be witnesses on certain documents, okay? So that's very, very, very important to know that part. So right here it says about power of closing verbiage. A lot of times we get documents we're not sure how to fill out power of attorney, how to have the signer fill it out. So this right here, hey Trina, this right here tells you on this package, this example, it gives you how they want you to have the borrowers sign when it comes to a power of attorney or trust closings. That they will give you instructions, y'all. Okay, so don't never get worried when something comes up. This is a really great company. I think I'm gonna make sure I keep my eye out for this company because they give me a lot of instructions. And like I said before, I'm gonna keep all these examples that they gave me to print off to share with you all, and for me to always re-educate myself and reevaluate things in case something comes up. So we are the agent. So sometimes you may see agent. That's what I'm saying. Loan closing lot a little bit different than just going out doing general notary work. When you see agent signature, that means you are the agent. They want you to sign there. They want fax backs with this closing. Some closings require fax backs. So with this closing, they require you to fax the documents back. Sometimes you can fax and drop. Fax and drop are the best ones I love. But this company wants you to fax and wait for approval to drop. Okay? So on this one, it says that you have a cover page. So the cover page is always the page that's placed on the very top after all the documents have been thoroughly signed and notarized. They want this on top. It's called a coverage page. Okay, they give you this company gives you a lot of great instructions. I'm not a newbie, but it's good to see this stuff in here because if you they hired you for the first time and you've never done a closing, if you take your time out and read this, you'll be okay. And then it tells you instructions on right to cancel. Now, your right to cancel, that gives the borrower, says the cancel date, this date must be 3 days from the date documents are signed. So that just educates you because you say, I don't know what the documents, I don't know how to explain the documents. You know how to explain the documents. But when you're well educated about the documents, you'll feel more secure, more confident. So what I'm telling you, this company right here tells you what the cancel dates mean, okay? So that's something else very beneficial. Right here it says, this is the alter statement. No, this is a closing disclosure. Right here. Gives you instructions on the closing disclosure, y'all. Tells you exactly where you should initial. See, a lot of times it's be so small you don't know to look for. But my mentor, my instructor taught me to skim the page from top to bottom, top to bottom. Look through everything from top to bottom. And you train your eyes to look for certain places like that. Okay. So in this document, they shows you exactly how to where to initial on that. This right here, if the borrower's proceeds form, it tells you how they want their money back if they're due any money back. They are to fill this part out, right? They have their name on here. And see, this right here is broken into 2 lines. So the wife, I'm assuming the wife or the other partner, name was cut off on the second page. And also you have to be mindful if just one borrower signed it, then these documents being sent to the other borrower, you have to be mindful of that too. But this name was cut off, so you'll have to fix that. Now, whenever you fix stuff, you use black ink. You don't sign in black ink unless you're instructed, but if you need to fix something, do it in black ink. They also have wire instructions in here. If they want to wire anything, that's for them to fill out, okay? The owner's affidavit right here, state of. I'll put the state of. Now, I normally don't put this part like the county until I actually touch foot at the residence because the property may be in a different state or whatnot, but we're just meeting in this state, if that makes sense. So I'll hold off on the county of, okay? But I will put the state of, if that makes sense. You probably like, well, that don't even make sense, but that's okay. So I'm going to just fill this part out. This acknowledging that they have title insurance. They have to fill that part out because they know that. I don't know that. Okay, that's why I say you got to go through each document and briefly read for it. And then you're like, okay, they're like, well, what's this? You're like, okay, then you can point to it, and then they can read it. Like, okay, well, they mentioned this to me. I know what this is, okay? So it says sworn to and subscriber for. So sworn to and subscriber for, what does that mean? They have to give an oath, right? Okay, then. All right, so you say, well, how do I know when they give an oath? Sworn to and subscribe means a oath, okay? Simple thing to remember, all right? They have to give an oath. I'm looking for something, y'all. Y'all like, what is she doing? I'm looking for something. Okay, here we go. I need to put this in front of me. All right. So you perform the oath and you keep it pushing. If you make a mistake on a paper, you just get a copy out their set and you replace it. You let them know, okay, I'm replacing this messed up copy and I'm putting it in your copy so they understand, okay? All right. A lot of times when I'm filling out stuff, they talking. Sometimes they don't talk. Sometimes it's a complete silence. Once you get more comfortable talking and writing, you can talk and write at the same time. And if you're nervous, don't be talking and writing at this because you'll mess up. Especially if you have someone who's very nice and very polite, they want to talk since you're in their home and everything. But if you're not comfortable doing all that at the same time, don't do it at the same time. I'm telling you now, you'll mess up each and every time. So I'm just going through here, filling out what I need to fill out before I get there. Sometimes it speed up the process by filling out this stuff beforehand. This speeds up the process a little bit. And then you're gonna need it when you get to a part on the verbiage. You have to mark out known to me or satisfactory proven to me to be the persons. It's two people whose names. So it's two people are. You have to to mark out through that stuff. What that means is, so I don't know if it's let's see, it's he, she, is they. It's not her. I don't know who that is. Let's see here. Their authorized capacities, and that by their signatures on this instrument, the persons of the entity upon the behalf of which persons executed this instrument. So you got to read through that and mark through what does not apply, if that makes sense. What does not apply. You have to write in their name. And the only reason why I'm not showing y'all that, because I can't show you. I have to try to explain it to you the best I can. But anyone who's done some of these, you'll understand. You can always Google notarial documents if you can follow along and see what I'm talking about. Because you're like, this don't even make sense. What are you talking about? Like, I'm lost. It's okay. Just Google it. That's how I figured it out. A lot of stuff. Just Google it and practice. I think the NNA might even have some blank notarial certificates you can practice on. Whenever I would meet up with my notaries, I would give them blank notarial certificates for them to practice on. So that way they can get used to writing it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you sit here going through all these pages, like I got a whole package I got to go through. All this right here, I got to go through with them. All this. So that's what I'm saying. You want to get in the hang of going through all this with everybody, right? Like I said, you just give them each document for them to go through. Once you do more of these, you'll become more familiar with what the documents mean, if that makes sense. I do apologize. Mortgage payoff affidavit. It's a part right here for me to fill out, for them to sign and date. And like I told you all, I get a pack of these. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. I get them at like discount office supply stores. And you have to write down the date on here. You write down the date, okay? And that way everyone can see what date it is. They don't have to keep asking you. You don't have to keep trying to look at your phone, okay? You want to be professional. Have your phone off to the side. If you get a text message, email, unless it's your children or something, your spouse, significant other, family member, just like, I'm on the closing right now. Can I call you right back? Or text them right. Excuse me, can I text this? Stuff like that. Try to be professional at all times because it goes a long way. Sworn, subscribe to me for this. So I hope this makes sense. And you sign it in a blue ink pen because that's how they instruct it in the instructions. So that's what you use. If you don't have a favorite blue pen, go out and shop for your favorite blue pen. That'll give you a reason to spend some money. because I have the ones I like. I got them from the $1.25 store. I really, 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 really like these. I got them from the $1.25 store, y'all. These right here. And every time I go to one in a different little town, I try to go to the $1.25 store and pack up and rack up like 5 packs. Because they're good. They like marker type. Some people don't like writing white with the marker type pens, but I do. I don't have to bear down as hard. You know, and they glide just good. So like I said, I'm just going through this because I have a lot of documents we have to get through. And the quickly and smoother you can get through it, the easier. Now, when I present my documents, when I go to closing, I always present the closing disclosure because that's the meat and potatoes of the whole transaction. Make sure those numbers, that terms are right. Everything else is, they could talk it over with their loan officer or the person that they've been dealing with doing this transaction. But get that closing disclosure up front, okay? Have everything in order. Have like a little paper clip or a little sticky note if it's sticking out on the side. Pull that closing disclosure out, go over it, have them sign it, make sure everything's correct. Then you can put it back in your pal and start back at the top and go through everything. And then you understand how people can get through these closings in 30 minutes. For real. Not no hour, 2 hours. Because if you do all this right here, all this other little stuff, and you get to that closing, them numbers ain't right. You sitting there trying to figure out who you got to call. You wait for them to respond back because sometimes they don't answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? You tell them, can you send them an email? I send them, and we'll double team them. I send an email, they send an email. You know what I'm saying? That's how that go. So, yeah, like, that's exactly how that go. It's a lot to it, but it's not a lot to it. And then once you get to the swing of things, you watch more people do it, you'll understand it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Like I said, they give you this company right here gave me a ton of information. So had this been my very first signing with this company, I would have been a lot comfortable because they give me so many instructions on how to do things. And like I said, you don't have to explain the documents, but if you want to be comfortable in case they ask you, which they should not ask you what certain documents mean because they should have been explained these documents. They've been working on these files for a while, y'all. This ain't the first time they've seen these documents. You know, when I first started out, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to explain this? I ain't even bought no house. I don't know this. I don't know that. But I quickly learned that they've gone through these documents before. They've been explained that these documents will, you know, and talked about these documents beforehand. So this right here is a place for them to initial. So if both their names are on the signature line, that means both of them are to initial, okay? Then you have your part to fill out. Like I said, you just read through it. Fill out what you need to fill out. I'm just doing this the day beforehand because I wanted you all to, once I had a packet, I wanted you all to see exactly how to go over it. Now this right here, it says bars must initial or check boxes for ethnicity, race, sex, and signing date. So these right here normally was already populated, but this is, I guess they're not doing that anymore. Interesting. So y'all want to see this form right here? This is the example the company gave me. So these normally in the past, these boxes were already populated. But now they're giving instruction. I guess they want to make sure if they're not populated, we guide them. Don't demand, guide them. Can you please, you know, mind marking here, you know, right here. Okay. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Okay. And then they want me to acknowledge that I've seen it. Okay. I guess this company does not mark that area any longer. So they want to say, well, no, we don't mark that area anymore. That's up to you to make sure that you guide them, assist them, encourage them to mark that area. All right. So visitor health screening questionnaire. This is something they've been doing since COVID. You'll see that in there. I can show you what this look like. So this is, you'll have one for the notary and you'll have one for the borrowers, okay? So you can fill this part out. And contracting company is the company that hired you, not your business name, but the company that hired you, okay? And then you put the address to where the closing took place. Just follow. It's very simple. It tells you what to put on here. Then it asks you, have you returned from international travels within the last 14 days? No, I wish I've been somewhere around the world. Have you or your household family members had close contact with or care for someone diagnosed with COVID-19 within the last 14 days? No. It says, have you experienced any cold or flu-like symptoms in the last 14 days? No. And then you sign and date. And you return all this back to them. Oh, I put the move my little sticky note, y'all. And like I said, your borrowers will have one. They fill that out. Now, this is the closing disclosure. Like I said, you'll make sure you go over the date issued, the loan terms, the loan amount. So this is what I say. This is your closing disclosure. And I point to them. Your loan amount. I go over your cash to close. That's what I do. And I go loan terms. Now, y'all like, well, you just is trifling and slow. No, that's just what I do. Everybody do things differently. Everybody do things differently. I've done so many of these with the attorneys in the office, and no one has complained about how I present these documents. So I said, this is your closing disclosure. This is a day issue. This is your closing date. This is your disbursement date. Because they want to know when it's going to close, when they're going to get their money back. So when you don't be afraid, just go through read yourself. Read on here. They say, well, when am I going to get my money back? You just pick the paper up like, and you read on there and it tells you the disbursement date. That tells you and them when they're going to get their money back. So like I said, this is the closing disclosure. This is your date issue, your closing date. This is your disbursement date. This is your loan term. This is your loan amount. This is your cash to close. That's all I do, y'all. I give them a copy. I give everybody a copy, and that's what I do. They go through all. I say, and then let me see how many pages this is. 5. I say on the very last page, sign and date. That's what I do. That's just what I do, y'all. Like, it's not that hard. But everybody do things different. Like I tell you all, you get your own groove. You do it how you want to do it. And you be like, well, Charlene, you don't know nothing. And I don't like the way you do it. So that's fine with me too. Because I'm going to keep doing it until someone tell me not otherwise. So in some documents, you have a QR code that needs to be scanned before you move forward to make sure they've done their hybrid. Because some of them are hybrid. Some of it means they have to do it online before you get there. So if you have a QR code in your package, make sure you scan it. That'll tell you, the notary, that they completed their portion online. If you scan that code and it says they have not completed their portion online, you need to freeze and pause. Like, look, have you gone online and completed your portion yet? And they're like, oh no, when was I supposed to do that? Have patience. Have patience. That's why I don't book yourself so many appointments where you scrambling and skipping stuff. Calm it down a notch. Calm it down a notch. Be like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So they have not completed their portion yet. They trying to figure out where in the world the email is at. In the meantime, you go through your documents. You get yourself organized. You don't get on your phone, start calling people. You don't get on your phone, start doing Instagram, TikTok. You just still be professional and go through your documents. Do what you got to do with your documents at that closing, right? Don't get on the phone like to the sign. Man, they ain't even do. No, you don't do none of that. You be professional. Call. I don't care if you raging hot inside. You don't put that out in the atmosphere. In someone else's home, you got a job to do. So you just be patient. So once they find an email and they get the QR code, they finish doing what they're doing, then you move on with the closing. Okay. All right. So I don't care if they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 closing disclosures in there. Look like it's all the same. You have them sign every single last document that needs to be signed, or you will be going back. You will be going back. Okay? It's not your business to know why there's so many closing disclosures in there. If you want to be nosy, you call the hiring company. Be like, look, I've noticed that there have 5 closing disclosures on there. They're like, oh, yeah, have them sign all of them. Or they'll say, oh, mistake on our end. Sometimes that happens. But I best believe, doing as many as I've done in the past, you need to have everybody sign everything that's in that document, or you will be going back and you won't be charged this extra fee. You can't charge an extra fee because it's in there for a reason. Not for you, your understanding, for their understanding, okay? All right, so I'm just flipping through, looking through it to see what I need to see here. To see what I need to see here. And let's see here. And a lot of this is for them to fill out, right? It's documents I've seen before. So I'm not sitting here reading through their business. Don't worry about, oh, that's their business, so private, confidential. These people entrusting us to be professional and understand that we are all up in these people's business. So you need to be professional, okay? Because we have a lot of their information. And I ain't even gonna comment on that, but we have a lot of information. So here's my shipping label. I will put this off to the side. So this is the alter statement. This is what I was telling y'all about before. It has all the breakdown, all the fees. That's how I explained it. This is your alter statement. This is breakdown all your fees. Sign and date the last page. Now that you see here is a blank page. You don't take your it's not your business to take this out. I don't care if it's blank. It's not completely blank, but it's in there. You leave it in there, okay? Don't do that. Please don't do that. If it don't have nothing on there, and say this is page 2 of 3, that means it has a 1 and it has a 3 behind it. So this page was meant blank for a reason. So don't be trying to take control over everything and taking pages out of stuff. Like, no, that's a big no. Please don't do that, okay? All right. Now it says attention closing agent. It gives me more instructions on what to do, who to contact, where these documents going. They say any question regarding the return of documents can be directed to post. Okay, give me an email to the person. So if you ever get caught up in a closing where it seems like you can't get anybody on the line, start going through these packages and find out who you need to email. It's best to have a trail of emails that you are trying to contact someone other than you just up getting mad and just saying, well, I can't do this. Ain't nobody answer the phone. Ain't nobody, I can't be sitting around waiting. No, you need to have a trail. And I'm just being raw. I don't know else how to tell y'all. You need to have an email trail, a text message trail, screenshots that you try to reach out to someone at the closing table to get clarification to move forward or how to handle certain situations. Because you will get situations where you can't get nobody on the phone and you have to just stop the closing. You just have to like, we can't, the numbers aren't right. You're not happy with this. The other person's not there. You knew they had to be there, but they're not there. They're not showing up, blase. So I'm at the part where it says the note. So on the note documents, I point to them their loan amount. I point to them their interest rate. I point to them when their first payment is due. I point to them how much their first payment will be. That's what I do on the note, and that's it. If they want to take out time to read the note, that's their prerogative. Now, on this particular note, they just sign. They do not date. So if you do not see a place for them to sign and date, they just sign. Okay, signature. Okay, so deed of trust. The deed of trust is just a deed of trust. Okay. On the deed of trust, I have them go to the close to last page and sign and date. That's what I do on the deed of trust, and it's a place for me to do my notarial. I'm just acknowledging. It's like an acknowledgement. I'm just doing my part here, and that's it. That's the deed of trust. That's how you do the deed of trust. It's like I said, I'm just filling out my portion. I'm not stamping anything because they're not in front of me. They're not in front of me, so I'm not stamping anything. I'm just filling this out. Okay? You don't start filling stuff out and stamping. You stamp when they sign. Sign, stamp. Get that in your brain. Sign, stamp. You don't just sit here and just stamp. I've never understood that. People say, oh, well, I didn't have time to stamp, so I just got home back to my office and stamped. No, you don't do that. And somebody watching you and don't like you gonna report you. And I'm just being for real. I'm sorry, I got out of character for a minute, but it burns my hide when I see people doing stuff and want to share what they got going on, and you're not even doing it right. You're not even doing it right. So I just filled out my little notarial part. Then when I get in front of them, they sign it. Then I'll stamp. So what you do? Sign, stamp. The 2 S's, sign, stamp. sign, stamp. Okay, so this is a notice right to cancel. So normally what I do, I put my hand over that little block for the cancel block, and I tell them to sign underneath, right? Because sometimes you have people that want to control freaks, they want to control everything, and blah blah blah. So if they're not paying attention, they talkative, or they doing all this other stuff, and you just trying to get through the closing. I just put my hand. I said, please sign a date here. This is your right to cancel. You have 3 business days from the date to cancel this transaction if you choose to. In that box, it tells you how to cancel. That's what I do. That's what I do. And there's several of these in here. I said, you might have 4 or 5 copies. Please sign each one. That's what I do. Okay, so this is the compliance agreement. I have them sign a date here because it requires for their signature. And this is more like an acknowledgement too. I have to put the date on here. And all I'm doing is filling out my portion of this notary package, loan closing. I think this is a refi. I think tomorrow I got a seller package. And they're a little bit different, but not that much different. Don't be timid or afraid to do any of them, because the more you do, the better you get at doing this type of work, okay? The more you do, the better you'll get. Trust somebody who's not all that, you know what I'm saying? So this is your signature and affidavit. On the signature affidavit, it says whenever they pull your credit report, these are some of the names that appeared on your credit report. That's why some of the names might be on here. That's what I do with signature, name, and affidavit. That's what I do. Other people might show y'all do it different. Other people I might even be explaining it different. But that's how I present these documents. Please sign and date here. And this is another one, sworn and subscribed and sworn, okay? So once you perform that oath one time, you'll have to do it again, okay? I always sign my name and then write Notary Public behind it. I've always done that. When I was trying to learn myself, because I didn't have anyone to help me, I would go onto the clerk of court website and look up some of the deeds that's been recorded and see how the notaries filled those deeds out. So I had to educate myself the best way I could, y'all. So that's what I would do. I would go into the clerk of court and go into the register of deeds and pull up properties, and you know have to navigate through all that, and then you find out where the deeds was reported, and you can see how the notaries will fill out that portion, and that's pretty much how I figured out where to go about how to do it. That's exactly what I did. And so I'm about at the end, y'all, now. And if I wouldn't been trying to talk to y'all and explain stuff to y'all, probably would have been through this process, but I just want y'all to see how it go. So right here, this affidavit of occupancy. It just says this is just your primary residence. Sometimes investment property, sometimes not. So affidavit of occupancy, I can't even say it, but this is your primary residence, and at this time you're refinancing. So it's already populated. They don't have to mark anything, and just ask them to sign a date. Now there is a place on here. Let me make sure I let y'all notice that they want them to fill out when they acquired the property. So I, in the past, will skip that part. I'm talking about in the past. I don't do it no more. But in the past, I'm like, now I know that this part right here is blank. The hiring company wants them to fill this portion out. So it says, the Amazon acquired the property on, and the best date that they can. It ain't got to be exact. February the 6th, 2012. Just close to. They want close to, but they don't want you just to turn in blank. Because if anybody know when they moved in somewhere, they can't just leave it blank. You know something. I don't care if you can just say 1980 the year. Put something there. If that makes sense. And I might seem a little agitated, but I'm just trying to get y'all to understand that it's not as hard as some people make it out to be. It is not that hard. And I'm not that detail oriented, y'all, believe it or not. But I do my best. I do my best. And I definitely do my best to follow the rules and the guidelines for this business because this is a great business. Like, just imagine you making $75 in 30 minutes. And that ain't even including driving. You just sitting down in somebody's house and going through these papers with them, you get $75. Some people have to work all day. Come on now. So this is a U.S. Patriot Act. Now they did have instructions. It says forms only one form of verification is required on this one. Sometimes on the second document they'll have the social security number in here. Sometimes they don't, but you always want to fill out and go by how they want you to go by and do it, okay? So that's the U.S. Patriot Act. We as a notary fill this part. We as a signing agent fill this part out, okay? We just get the forms from them. We just verifying that the forms are real, that, that they have them and stuff like that, okay? So that's what we doing for the Patriots Act. And they always want you to sign your name and then print your title. Your title is Notary Public, not signing agent. You are a Notary Public commission in good old North Carolina. So it's settlement agent. We are not the settlement agent. So don't sign that. Don't just go around sign everything just because it say something. Read it. You're not the settlement agent. Tax return information. It just talks about your tax return information, the signing date, and the correction agreement, limited power correction agreement. If any clerical issues are found, you'll be willing to work with them in a timely fashion to have those issues corrected. They'll sign it. Just got one person sign it, and then you the notary will sign and stamp. That's it. And that's it. That's all. That's the whole signing in a nutshell, y'all. And of course, I'll go back through this again and make sure I didn't miss anything. And then when I go to my closing today, all that'll be filled out. So if I do want to have small talk, I can have small talk. But this company want you to take a picture, child. They want you to take a picture. I can't help but laugh. They want you to take a picture of it. I think outside the envelope, inside the envelope. And then honey, I don't know. I get to it. I do it like they ask. I will do it like they ask. Because that company, whoever this company, this signing service work with, this mortgage company, they do give a lot of helpful instructions. They really do. And I like that. It says agent signing instructions. It's this thick, y'all. Look, it's this thick. It's this thick. Look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? Okay, Felicia, you say, so you make sure that all the paperwork is filled out and correct before you sign it, right? Are you ever afraid you'll make... I do make mistakes. I do. I make mistakes. I would never say I don't make mistakes. G.D. Hunt. Perfect Nails. Oh my God. Hi. How you doing, Perfect Nails? I hope that's a good thing. So to answer your question, so you make sure that all their paperwork is filled out and correct before you sign it. So there's nothing... All we're doing is making sure that they initial what they need to initial. We make sure that they sign what they need to sign, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question in regards to making sure the paperwork is filled out. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Like I said, in a nutshell, that's what you do. I have 2 notary stamps just in case one is not working correctly. If you make a mistake, you mark through that stamp, you initial it, date it, and you keep it pushing. You stamp again, okay? I have a lender. Like I said, I don't give them my ID. They have a picture of me before I arrive, so you don't need to see my driver license. But I do have this made. It has my picture on it, and I have it like this on me, up high, not down on my where my pockets is. I have it up high, and I have it where they can see it. So as I'm writing, they can see my little pen, and they can see my lender. So it's drawing attention. So I am who I say I am. But I'm not showing you my driver's license. No, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. So you can't do this kind of work online. Not in North Carolina. We can't do it online on North Carolina. But if you're talking about electronic, yes. If you sign up for a company where it's paperless and you have a tablet and you sign up with that company, you can do everything paperless, but not remote, if that makes sense. You can't do it remotely, okay? We're not on remote online notarization approved in North Carolina. But if you're in a state I know Virginia for a fact you can do it from home. You can. Yes, you can. You sure can. But if you sign up with electronic provider in North Carolina, you could do it. You could do it in North Carolina if you sign up for company. But you can't do it remote online. There's no remote online notarization here in North Carolina. We've been approved, but they haven't gotten all their systems together, like they say, all their P's and Q's together. And this is the bag I carry all my stuff in. And I just put, I bring out this at the table. I have my phone on the table in case something get funny. I can call 911 or I can call a hiring service. Does it take long to learn this? It doesn't take long to learn this. What I did was when I first started getting into it, I started doing all my research. My mentor is Carol Ray. She's no longer with us. She passed away, but she was my mentor. So I binge watched all of her videos on YouTube. They don't even have them no more on YouTube, but I binge watched every single YouTube. She was before all these other people started coming on YouTube. I binge watched every single video of her coming and doing how she would set up her closings at the table, how she would take calls, how she would do everything. And I just had to I had to just take on my own routine doing this, right? So you can always Google documents, a POA, real estate transactions. Sometimes you can buy these documents online if you want to. I think I have some in my Facebook group that you could download for free and just visually see what they look like. But yeah, it doesn't take long to learn this. It is according to how quickly you learn and how it stick. You know, I say it's not hard because I've been doing it so many times. It's so long, but I can't say it won't be challenged because me with a pastille, I'm still like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And people are like, oh, it's easy. You can make hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing a pastille. But I'm like, but what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? You just, you know, it's because they say so many rules with it. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, I don't know. I done one, and all I had to do was take those documents to Secretary of State in Raleigh. The head a notary of our state, she did a apostille of it. It was shipped back to me, and I dropped them off to the person, and I made, I think, $200. That's it. But I hear people making thousands of dollars. So I'm like, what are you doing for thousands of dollars? Not knocking it, not knocking it. No, I want to learn how to do something for $1,000. But what are you doing? Then they include all these different documents that be included. But what are you doing? Are you notarizing it? Then it said something about translation services, like are the documents not in English? But under my impression, I know you can notarize it. If they could tell you what the documents are, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? You were cut off. I guess my Wi-Fi goes in and out. I was just saying it's according to how you learn. It won't take you long at all. You can go online and Google these documents online and look at documents and go off of that and learn kind of that way. I think in my Facebook group I have documents that you can download and print off and go over in my Facebook group. Yeah, so anybody have any more questions? I appreciate you all coming to the lives and listen to me rambling on and everything like that. I will go live again. I can't say, I want to try to say tomorrow, but I do have a closing tomorrow early. So possibly once I get back from that closing, I'll let you all know how that went and, you know, keep sharing with you all what all I got going on. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you all have a fantastic day. And don't forget, go out and be great. Go out and be a must living. It will do your mental justice.